What does shrinking for others mean to you? I've heard this term many times, and for the longest time, my mind would jump to me being a little child and having bigger, older, more mature, smarter people above me. I'm the youngest of five kids, all of which were much older than me. There's a big gap between when I was born. So even as my childhood growing up and then going into the professional world, in there's usually managers and people in higher positions, and I will say I am female, so instantly being female in this world of society that we have created, I am instantly down a notch. So when I hear the term shrinking for others, that's what I think about. But it's more than that. So much more than that. It can also mean, so in that sense, it's kind of like you're not going to take the lead. You're only going to speak when spoken to. Nobody's really going to care about your opinion. They don't want your opinion. You might be there to help and do things, be a body and do tasks, but you're not part of the decision making process. You're not part of the project. And so shrinking for others is being there, but like you're so excited to just be there. So you're just going to shrink, right? But more than that, shrinking for others is putting yourself in a place where you are unable to fully express yourself. And we spend so much time trying to erase these masks, trying to unprogram everything we've been programmed our entire lives, especially if you're in over 30 generation. I need to look up the math and see what age gap it is because um I mean I want to even say like over 35 is probably the age difference from when technology really came onto the scene, because that just completely changes everything. And I'm sure there's energy signatures around the same time that technology really blew up that changed people's souls, because you see it in the younger generations. Anyways, back to shrinking for others. Shrinking for others is a form of people pleasing. You withhold your opinions, you withhold your point of view and your perspective and your wants and your needs and your desires in order to avoid conflict or keep yourself in good standing with other people. um, you want them to like you want them to accept you. And why would you want someone to love you and accept you and like you if you don't feel comfortable being your full authentic self around them? And a lot of that is instinctual. We are creatures, tribal creatures of a pack, and our DNA for hundreds and thousands of years held this program that if we weren't accepted by the group, that meant death most often, because to survive in the wild on your own, like you need groups. And the way society is now, it's very easy to seclude ourselves. We don't need to share a garden bounty with our neighbors. We like there's just all the things that would be trade and barter is now automatic, systematic. You can buy it. You don't have to have connections. You don't have to know someone to do it. Everything, it doesn't matter now if you isolate. It doesn't matter now if you piss off the world. So piss off the world and be yourself. Okay. It's time to stop people pleasing. It is time to stop shrinking yourself for others. It's time to be authentic. We want to be, and this will be hard at first. I want to say oh, I'm trying to think of a specific stat and the subject. I can't even remember the subject that it was, but it was something that I came across today. And basically, it was that the majority of the population is on robot mode. They're not doing things intentionally. They're not taking care of their bodies. They're not taking care of their brains, and they're not taking care of their emotions and their community and their relationships around themselves. Like they are not intentionally living, they're just surviving. And within that survival is going to come insecurities. If they're not taking care of their body, they're going to have insecurities. If they're not putting in the work to understand how their words affect their reality and how their mindset completely changes everything about everything, because if something, well, if you think that way, then it is, right? You either can or you can't, whichever one you think it is true. And so you're dealing with other people's insecurities. And if you're constantly, like, you can only handle so much of that, right? Like if you say something and someone says something back and it shows their insecurity and you can see that it's their insecurity, now you have to tailor yourself to something a little bit different. Like you might say one or two other things to see where the conversation's going to go, but ultimately if you find yourself catering to someone's insecurities, you're just going to want to stop talking. You're not going to want to, like, it's not fun anymore, right? So that's going to be a percentage of people that will leave your circle, right? Once you stop people pleasing, once you stop shrinking for others. We don't need to shrink ourselves down to their level. And I have done this myself many times, mostly because I love everyone where at whatever level they're at, and mostly because, like, I've been there and I see myself in them and I'm like, I remember what it was like to be at your level, and I want to help and guide and be like, yes, like, you're great how you are. You don't need to be fixed. But if you have the desire to progress, like, let's talk about it. Because this isn't the way that you're being right now is not the way to be. See, how do you say that nicely? Maybe that's the problem. But so naturally, if you start creating boundaries around certain things, people are going to fall away, right? Um, if you're in a group of people and they start gossiping about someone, it's one thing not to join the gossip, and it's really hard to step aside. And um, I mean, I was in this situation recently, and going forward, I mean, I definitely didn't engage at all. And so going forward, just a simple, like, hey, if you want to talk about this on your own time, that's great. But while we're here, maybe we can talk about something more intentional, such as, or like, I don't know, redirect the conversation, right? Something, just placing boundaries. And then you may make that person feel uncomfortable, or they're going to notice what they did and want to improve. And even if they want to improve, that improvement may not involve you being in their life anymore. They might resent you for embarrassing them, and that might be that. But going forward, that might be a mistake that they don't make again with someone else. That might have been just enough for them to think intentionally about what their thoughts and words and interactions and things are. And there is a fine line between, like, gossip and relating, and also using someone else's situation to help navigate your own situation. Like, we all reflect and bounce off of each other's ideas, so that's great. So I mean, there's a fine line, and that's a hard one, but also there comes a time, yeah, boundaries. So the more insecurities that people have, the less freedom and the less room that you're going to have to express your true self. And if your true self is someone that is expansive and constantly evolving and wanting to level up, that's going to change the people that you're around very quickly. So be ready for that. It's going to be awesome. And the more you set boundaries, that's going to be, again, like that person that maybe was expressing gossip, they're also not going to want to express as much around you also. So it's kind of bittersweet, because as we do these life lessons, I feel like we have people that come in and out of our life and they help us learn these lessons. But then usually the people jump out of the life. So it's like, as we put the lesson into trial and error, it's not always with the same people. And the trial and error might be with the next the next situation. So you just have to be ready for it all. You have to be ready for people to come and go. You have to be ready for energies to sway up and down. Your goals are going to change based on how value driven you are versus how performative driven you are. And also, are you being driven from survival, or are you being driven from creativity and God driven love? Like, where is your motivation coming from? So that's going to take play into everything. But the biggest thing is to not play small. And it's going to be tough, especially because the number game is not in your favor. The amount of people that don't play small, that step into their authenticity and speak their boundaries and hold on to their values, and no matter what's going on the outside, still hold their stronghold, that it doesn't matter if they have 2,000 people around them or only two flies and two cats. Like, you're going to have that authenticity to hold yourself secure, right? Um, so just don't shrink for others. It's a really great tip. And I think I have a better understanding for it now. Every time we know that we should set a boundary and we don't, that's shrinking for others. Every time that we have an opinion that we want to voice and we don't, that is shrinking for others. And obviously, follow your morals and values. Like, intrusive thoughts. Obviously, we're not going to say intrusive thoughts as under the guise of, well, I'm speaking my truth and authenticity. Like, intrusive thoughts could still be hurtful and mean, and that's not what we're going for here. We're going here. We're going for love. We're going for things from the heart. The more that we can create from the heart, the more that we can just trust in how things are going to flow and unfold and level up. Thank you for joining me this far. My name's Deb. I spelled out with two B's. And I'm just a human sharing my human experience, hoping to help you gain some confidence in your human experience. And trying to say that whole time, I'm kind of giggling to myself in my brain, because for the longest time, I keep telling people I'm not actually human and I have no idea what's happening. This place is really weird, and I'm determined to find out how to make everything work. I'm getting closer, and so rad. This earth of duality, and yet, oh man, and it changes. It's kind of, I know I just said the ending part of the video, but okay, as a parent, even every time that you feel like you're settled in with a child's routine, like they have a new growth spurt, or they they have a new hobby, like they're always growing. It's never stable. And I feel like in this, I mean, I know in this timeline that we're at with this stage of energies of things that are happening astrologically, like some major things are happening that have not happened in the last thousands and thousands of years, right? If ever, but like, it's happening. It's crazy. We're awakening. And the more of us that do it, the more of us that awaken, the more of us that come in line to congruence with the energies of love, the faster everything's going to happen. And it's just going to happen so fast. Like, it's not 5 or 10 generations away. It's like 1 to 2 generations away. I don't, I like, I see it, people. Let's get excited. The new earth is here. I'm Deb. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like for the algorithm. Make sure you comment so I know what we're doing here. And subscribe so the right message can always reach you at the right time. Cheers.